The Superb is Skoda's largest car. It's the big family car that's going up against the likes of the Ford Mondeo and Volkswagen Passat, but also against more premium offerings like the BMW 3 Series and Mercedes C-Class. It's a versatile car featuring petrol and diesel engines, manual and automatic gearboxes, 2- and 4-wheel drive and hatchback and estate models. There's also a remarkable amount of room on offer, with a classy cabin and loads of boot space. It's little wonder the Czech government uses them as official vehicles. If you avoid the entry-level 123 brake horsepower petrol or 118 brake horsepower diesel, both of which are a little lacklustre, then the Superb performs well enough. Those who like a bit of pace will particularly enjoy the 217 horsepower and 4-wheel drive only 276 brake horsepower 2-litre petrols, the latter of which rattles off the 0 to 60 mph sprint in under 6 seconds. The mid-range petrol and diesel, both rated at 148 brake horsepower, are good pairings with the Superb though. The petrol is quicker on paper, though you do need to rev it hard to make decent progress, while the diesel has plenty of low-down torque and better fuel economy. There's a higher power 187 brake horsepower diesel too, but it's just about rendered moot by the cheaper unit. With the standard suspension, the Superb rides really well, dealing with uneven road surfaces and speed bumps admirably. It's excellent on the motorway cruise too, but it can float a little if the road gets too bumpy. Go for the adaptive suspension and it's even smoother, unless you set it into sport mode. It's worth avoiding the larger 19-inch alloys too if you want a really comfortable ride. It's not that thrilling to drive. The steering doesn't have that much feedback, although it is precise, well weighted, and there is plenty of grip in any model, so it's easy to place in the corners. It brakes well too, and with plenty of pedal feel, so it's easy to drive smoothly and confidently. The diesels can be a little bit gruff at cold and on acceleration, but settle into a hum at speed, while the petrols are pretty refined all round. The manual cars have a nice gear change action, while the dual clutch auto is seamless on the open road, if a little jerky in traffic. There's no more wind or road noise than you'd find in any rivals, so it makes for a relaxed cruiser. Finding a good seating position is an absolute cinch. All versions get a seat height adjuster, and the steering wheel also adjusts for height and reach. As you move up the range, more adjustment is available, all the way through to full electric seats with memory on SE Business and above. All the major controls are sensibly placed and within easy reach. Forward visibility is pretty clear, but the high window line and thick rear pillars mean the over-the-shoulder view is a little obscured. The big mirrors help to eliminate the blind spots, but low-level objects might be hard to spot. For all but S specification, you get rear parking sensors, and there's plenty of options to help you wrangle the Superb. All models come with a decent level of infotainment, with all the expected bases covered: Bluetooth, aux-in, DAB radio and steering wheel controls. There's a 5-inch touchscreen on the entry-level S, and this incrementally increases to an 8-inch version on the SEL, which includes sat-nav and integrated Wi-Fi. It's easy enough to use, and the larger screen has larger icons, which makes it easier to interpret, although it's just not as intuitive to use as the BMW iDrive system. Fit and finish is top quality, with high-grade materials in all the places you're likely to touch often. There's some scratchy plastics lower down and out of sight, but generally it's soft touch everything. Even the cubbies and door bins are carpeted or rubber lined. Along with nicely damped switchgear, it's a nice environment. In fact, the cabin as a whole is a bit of a party piece. There's far more room in here than many of its more premium rivals, with wide front seats and head and leg room for even very tall people. There's lots of room across the shoulders too, so 4 will sit in the kind of comfort that you would only usually find in a Mercedes S-Class. The centre rear passenger will have to deal with this central transmission tunnel and a little less headroom, but there's still plenty of room for even 6-footers to get comfortable. Cabin storage is excellent too, with huge door bins, front and rear, centre cubbies and cup holders. Even with all the seats occupied, the Superb's boot is huge, with a 625 litre space in the hatchback, rising to 660 litres in the Estate. The boot is huge whether the seats are up or down, and there are a few party tricks to extend its practicality. For the price, the entry-level S model is better equipped than many of its rivals, and even the top of the range version offers a great value for money, especially alongside more premium offerings. The Skoda Superb combines a vast amount of cabin space with a well-built interior and a level of equipment that's difficult to match for its price point. Add in a very comfortable ride and the result is something that shames many premium cars for the ownership experience. It's not quite as good to drive as some rivals, and it looks a little pricey in the upper reaches of the range, but otherwise it makes an extremely compelling case for itself. For more information, search for the Skoda Superb on whatcar.com, and to keep up to date with all our latest video road tests, click subscribe.